Paltrocast. Danny, plugging the project right here. How much is there of Freddie Jones in you, the human being?
It's for me as an actor, and the USA don't know I am. So
I know who both of
you do.
are.
Okay.
I'm going to prove it. Yeah.
Well, I was trying to look for a project that I'm trying to do something different as I'm pushing 50 now, and it's about getting opportunities to try and do stuff different. And I also understand that as an audience, to take me seriously doing something different, I have to look different. And Freddie Jones looks very differently to I do, with the moustache and the wig. I would say I'm very similar to Freddie in a sense of I'm quite kind, like Freddie. I would like to think yeah, a bit of talent in it. Quite partial to a pair of Farrahs, which is a strong pair of strides, as we'd call it over here.
Sure.
But yeah, I loved playing Freddie. I really did, and I really hope that people get him and love him the way I did.
Well, Katherine, same unoriginal question at you. How much of your character is there in you, the human being?
Oh, I mean, it's so hard to be objective about yourself, isn't it? I don't really know what I am at this stage in the game, but I'd like to think that I have shades of Lizzie, but I don't feel like I'm quite as
more confident. I think in real life.
Confident in real life, maybe.
You know who you are.
Yeah, and I think I have to say there is no bit of me that would tolerate that marriage.
No, no. James, is a nightmare.
But I think that's probably the privilege of the time I've grown up in, and that's what I find so interesting. It's almost like Lizzie is the 80s version of myself if I had a prolific writing talent. And that's what I sort of wonder. And that's why I love, playing people set in different times, because it's a real kind of you can really use your imagination to think maybe there, but for the grace of God go I, and all that, right?
Beautiful way of putting it, actually. Very much.
Yeah. It's an eloquent duo right here, where sometimes you have to do the heavy lifting as the interviewer. I feel like you two are just delights, so I'm just going to throw another compliment. You ready?
Give it to me.
Okay, well, it's going to go to Katherine, unfortunately. Sorry, Danny. And it's Katherine. The IT Crowd never missed a damn episode of that show. One of the all-time series great shows ever. And seeing your character work as Jen, that's nothing to do with this role. When you started off as an actress, did you have a clear path of a kind of role that you wanted to do?
No, I don't think so. But I did always feel like the comedy was going to be the thing that got me in the door. And I sort of knew when I got the IT Crowd that, the great thing about comedy is you can go up for parts that just have physical descriptions that are wildly varied, like the sort of kind of, quite normal looking person to the sort of really strange looking person. And all they're looking for is the people that can sell the comedy. So I never underestimated the power of the comedy thing, I suppose.
Got it. Now, Danny, not to leave you out here, the setting, as you pointed out, the facial hair, the wig, etc., it's representative of 1986. And to me, that's one of the greatest years of music. Where were you musically speaking in 1986?
Well, in 1986, I was 9.
Sure.
So I was a slave to really my mother's music. My dad had left by then, so she was very much into Lisa Stansfield and Elaine Page. A lot of ballads in a bit of Jennifer Rush.
Yeah.
That was sort of a lot of Spandau Ballet going on in the background and Duran Duran. I mean, it was a great era, really, the 80s, and especially for Christmas tunes, especially here in this country. Nobody, you can't break away from the 80s Christmas tunes. Nobody can, replicate it. So we are sort of reminded about the 80s every Christmas. So that's where I was at, really, just sort of very much ballads, big, strong women with these powerful voices,
Bonnie
like
Tyler.
Morrissey?
Yeah.
like Morrissey? Sorry, bad joke right there, because Smiths had a great 86 album. And you're saying ballads and, melancholy. Who did it better than the Smiths?
What with ballads and well, no one. To be fair, he was the man, wasn't he? Oh, Morrissey.
Was.
He was.
But
Not so much now. He's got to liven himself up a bit now. I think. But a great musician and a great front man, even though he was a miserable bastard.
Catherine, I left you out of that question. 1986 music. Any favorites there? Because I mean, landmark albums from Peter Gabriel and REM and Paul Simon. You seem like a music person.
Do you know, I remember on my 9th birthday, and I'd been bought the tape by a girl and a group of her friends, and it was called It's Horrible Being 9.5, and she was called Claire and Friends, which I'm not sure she was big in the States, but I think she was from Liverpool, and I was obsessed with her. I also got really into Elvis when I was about 10, so 1987, because my mum gave me a cassette of Elvis. So Are You Lonesome Tonight and Wooden Heart, and I was very into him. And then the Drifters. My mum just fed me cassettes, so I wasn't always like with the sort of, I wasn't listening to the music of the time. It was more the cassette I'd been handed for my personal
And
stereo.
Vanessa Paradis, who Je ne t'aime,
Yeah.
which as a young boy,
Yeah, my God.
she sent a lot of young boys insane.
Yeah,
Great tune.
yeah.
I think I'm learning that not only are you two masters of the craft on screen, but you are good candidates for an indie record store drama about music snobs, and I mean that in a good way. But the key is, congrats on your work on Rivals. Really looking forward to what's to come from both of you, and just keep up all the greatness out there.
Thank you very much.
What a kind man you are, and shout out to the United States. Yeah.
Thank you. Nice to meet you.
Thanks.
Paltrocast.